Oh, hello, hello. Okay, where am I live?
You're live.
Sorry, guys. This is my first day, y'all. Better have patience with me today, okay? So, welcome to Your Lane with Coach Hanna, my very first talk show, the very first talk show that I have ever done, or anything pertaining to radio. I would like to thank each and every person for taking the opportunity out of your busy Sunday to come and listen out with us.
We're live on Facebook, not on the radio yet.
Okay.
So
Thank God for my producer. My producer is telling me we're not live on the radio. I asked him, Nikita, did I
Yes,
ask
you
him?
did.
I said, are we going to be live on the radio and the Facebook? Okay, good. So we're on Facebook. For those who are tuning in, thank you so much. And you let me know when we live on the radio. Okay.
we're live.
And so for those who are on Facebook, I'm giving you a little heads up. I'm going to be doing some giveaways. So have your cell phone ready to take some pictures because you gotta have to take some pictures in order to get these prizes. And I think on our break, we're gonna actually say the text number so that you can actually either text in your answer or you can post it on the Facebook link. Okay, and some awesome prizes. You don't want to miss it. All right. So as we wait on the countdown for the talk show on the radio, I just want to thank my sponsors even before we start, if that's okay. I know, I'll wait. And that's Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, Celestial Treats, Listerine, distributed by Lowe's Wholesale, John Shoe Store, Calico Bay, where the cool kids shop, National Workers Cooperative Credit Union. You guys have been awesome. As I wait, y'all just tune in.
One, two, three.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Your Lane with Coach Hanna. I am pleased to be here today. This is my very first talk show, so please have patience and bear with me. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy Sunday schedule to listen out and tune in. We have lots to share today, and not only do we have things to share, but we also have giveaways and prizes. So I want you to, if you can, get your cell phones ready because we'll be taking some pictures. And I want you guys to send the pictures in, of course, however you do it, either by WhatsApp or text, if you want to win these awesome prizes. So before we commence, I just want to thank our wonderful sponsors. Let me tell you, I have to especially thank these group of people because they know for a fact I know nothing about talk show. I don't know a lick, okay? But they took the time out to say, Trishon, these are clients who I've had relationships, a relationship with. And they said, Trishon, if you're going to do it, I know that it's going to be done and it's going to be done in excellence. But guess what? I think it's more than just them sponsoring me just because I believe they are considering the vision. All right. And so let me just tell you a little bit about what this show is all about. It's called Your Lane with Coach Hanna. And the show was downloaded to me, I think, about that Saturday of Valentine's, the week of Valentine's. And, my passion has always been to help women, especially wives, when it comes to their families, when it comes to their marriages. And I wanted to take it a little step further and say, okay, God, if you're going to tell me to go ahead. Yes, I did say God. I was inspired by this through the Holy Spirit. Period. So, God, if you're going to allow me to do this, how do I go about doing this? I need wisdom. I need to know how do I go and do this? And he goes, okay, so I need you to deal with the whole person, the whole of a woman, because it comes with more than just having a household, being a wife and being a mother. When you are a wife, when you're a mother, you come with other things. You come with the responsibility of having to balance work, your workload, ministry for those who are in ministry, trying to figure out if you want to go and continue your education. So you have women who will be like, okay, look, I want to move ahead with furthering my education, but I don't know how to do it. And then you have women who have just issues pertaining to life, alopecia, fibroids, skin issues. You know what I mean? These are things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And it's more than just in order for a wife to be whole, or in order for a woman to be whole and complete. These are things that I feel as if that needs to be addressed so that we can be better and effective as citizens, right? And so this is what I'm doing. I am going ahead and I'm making it happen by the grace of God. I am literally stepping out in faith. Let me tell y'all, if anybody has ever watched Runaway Bride, I was contemplating about running away from today's program a couple of times, because just like Runaway Bride, you know, she would come to the altar, and then as soon as when it's time for her to say I do or something, she runs. And that's how I was, to be honest, when it comes to responsibilities that are massive. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And then I'll call the person back and be like, yeah, I have a tummy ache. I can't, but I'm here. All right. I'm here because passion is leading me. I'm here because I am in obedience. I'm here because I know that there are people, and I'm going to show up because there are people that needs to be encouraged. There are people that needs to be inspired. There are people that needs to be empowered, particularly our women. And so I want to stop there and say thank you once again to my sponsors. All right. Your Lane with Coach Hanna is brought to you by Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, Celestial Treats, Listerine, distributed by Lowe's Wholesale, John's Shoe Store, Calico Bay, where the cool kids shop, and National Workers Cooperative Credit Union. And if you would like to be a sponsor of the show, please email Coach Trish at yourlanelifecoaching.com. All right. So back to business. I would like to introduce my guests before we go to our first break. And I have with me, first of all, is he on? Because I can't see him from here. Joel, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm right here.
I have with me Mr. Joel Dave. He is a personal development coach for children and young adults. His rich experience comes from being in the fields of education for the last 15 years, teaching his students on creativity, music, confidence, and personal development. He has been a speaker at the TEDx conference, and you can find his talk, How to Live a Fulfilled Life, on the official website of the TED, www.ted.com. He is also the founder of Stenlock Academy, an online-based creative art personal development coaching portal. Woohoo! He lives in Bangalore, Bangalore, India, with his beautiful wife of 5 years and 2 daughters.
My wife is not 5 years.
No. This is what you sent to me, and this is what I'm reading. All right, but he's been with his wife for 5 years. Let's clear that up. And he has 2 beautiful daughters.
Beautiful daughters.
And before I allow him to speak, let me just also introduce my next guest who's on the side of me, and she's so patient and so faithful. Hallelujah. Her name is Nikita Woodside. Nikita Woodside holds a master's in counseling from Barry University and a bachelor's in psychology from the University of Georgia. She's smart. She is a wife and a mother of 2 who advocates for children who have mental health challenges to effectively and efficiently seek out the best opportunities for help. For the past 19 years, Mrs. Woodside has worked with the Ministry of Education in the School Psychological Services section, where she strives to enhance her objective through numerous school-based and outreach programs. Her recent work with school-age students ignited her interest to focus on those who have experienced significant traumatic events. This could be good. Nikita was the lead coordinator for Camp Hope in summer 2018. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but I heard it was phenomenal. Okay, you need to do it again. Her goal with Stories of Hope is to continue to provide a safe haven where individuals can come to begin their healing process. Hello, my guests.
Hello.
Joel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you so much for
over there in Bangalore, India.
Yes, Bangalore, India.
I keep on saying Bangalore. Like there's no D.
I just realized I got married 6 years back. I sent you 5 years. I realized that I'm married for 6 years now.
You've been married for 6 years. So you better not let her hear you say that.
I know.
My wife shouldn't be hearing.
All right, 6 years. Praise the Lord. So, Joel, what time is it over there?
It's can you guess?
Okay, it's 6:20 over here.
Yes, so it
3
is.
something in the morning.
Yeah, it is 3:50. I mean, we met.
3:50 in the morning.
Bedtime.
Bed. Third turnover. Go to use the bathroom. Come back in your bed.
Mhm.
But he is here with us, Bahamians. So please, let's just take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you so much, Joel, for being here. So I
My
don't know
pleasure.
if my producer saying we could go ahead because I was thinking that we were going to go on a break, so we can just go right into it if that's okay. Yeah, all right.
Let's get-
So we have Joel. Joel, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and tell me what is this that you do other than what I've already read?
Okay, so yeah, that's what. My name is Joel, and I've been in the field of education for 15 years, right? With the whole experience, I run this program called as Creative Leadership. So that's where all my experience comes together, and which is like a 12-week program where children can discover, develop, and deliver their best. Discover who they are, develop their potential, and deliver the best. So that's what I do. And I'm also engaged in the local ministry here in my church. This is called the New Life Church. All
Awesome.
right. And as you know, India is just like a 5% Christian country,
Yeah.
only 5%. So it's like in all my area, if you would have to go ahead and look out for a believer brother, it would be, and that's a train. You can hear the train.
It's just like we got a horror music and stuff in the background. Okay.
Yeah. So, in fact, I've come to this spot where I live right now for the last 2 years as a way to plant a church in this part of town. And for a year, I went about searching out for people who are believers around. I wasn't able to find. And at last, I found a group of believers. Now we gathered together. All right. So that's what I'm here in Bangalore. And this spot, I have a vision to establish a church. And so that's the vision that God has given me. But right now, the main calling that God has towards me is towards children and young adults who, one of the reasons that God led me towards children and young adults is when I was a child growing up, I did not have a direction for my own life, right? And I was like, my dad is a pastor, and so you know how pastors' kids can be. You are the spotlight in the church
Oh, we
and
talking
all of
about
that,
Pastor's Kids next month. I can't wait. You need to listen up to that.
right? But then it can get also messy. It can also get messy, because since you're the center, people can come pick on you. Sometimes people can be super legalistic about the way you look and the way you do. Like I remember a time. Like one person would come. This kind of a long hair wouldn't fit. I don't have a long hair now, but then this doesn't go right and in fact, like take this cash, go cut it up. Like, whoa, really? So I've had my struggle of share of struggle growing up, and it took a whole lot of prodigal journey where I started singing in the hotels, bars. So for about 10 years I used to sing in the hotels and bars, play the piano and sing, like a prodigal. But then God finally, not finally, God has his eyes all through. But then finally, at one point in time, God made me meet a guy who was a backslidden guy in the hotel who was singing with me. I know he was a guest who came forward to sing along with me, and he told me of his story. And I said, "My God, I don't want to be in that spot." And that's when God really took hold of me, and God led me to a journey where I studied in a Bible college for 5 years, and then I start, like where I teach and do all the academy work. So that came into start later on, So that's my journey in terms of my faith, in terms of how God has led me. All right.
Someone with
So,
that faith
nice.
in India, you are
Strong.
strong. Okay. Nikita, let's talk to you. Let's talk to you. How did you get to this point of psychology, child psychology? What brought you here?
So the interesting thing about me choosing to be in mental health is that from Aquinas College, Nikita Moss wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to study the mind and how it impacts our behaviors and how it influences our thought and why we experiencing so much emotional distress. I always wanted to understand it. And as time went by, I was fortunate enough to go and get my psychology degree. So after I joined the Ministry of Education with my psych degree, I wanted to do more because I realized that a lot of our children were experiencing too much adverse experiences, and it was definitely impacting who they are and who they are becoming, and they didn't have the vision to see that they are beyond their present. So the passion that I feel for children is what drives me always in my field, especially in advocating and helping them to become more resilient. I don't think that they realize that they can become resilient people. And Joel, when you were talking, all I was thinking about is wow, self identity. And that's our whole purpose in our field when we work with children, to help them identify with who they're going to become and recognize that they do have it in them to become who they need to become. So that's what drives me. That's what really, really drives me. I'm just really passionate about helping children reach their potential.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Y'all should let's see you passion. All right. No, but Joel, you said something.
Yeah.
You said the personal development of a child is what drives you.
Yeah.
Why do you think personal development is important for children?
So, see, what happens is children live in a world of, I would think, of data. Like I would think there are four steps to knowing anything. You have data, you have information, you have knowledge, and then you have wisdom. You know, uh, at the age that they are in right now, uh, when they look at everything, it's disconnected, like a glass of water, a chair, or a TV, a person, a dad, a mom. Everything doesn't carry. Not everything carries meaning and connection. So that's where we come in terms of personal development. We help children get a context, a meaning, so that the isolated information they have, the isolated data they have, turns into knowledge and insight. So that's one. And also, there could be another reason, that is, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It's not just a dad and mom and then a child. No, because sometimes there are many things that the parents may be blind to, because it's my own child. So certain flaws I wouldn't be able to see it, and as life goes on, suddenly it comes out like, whoa, I didn't know this. And that's why we need to have mentors and people around who need to participate in the life of the child. And thirdly, I would also think awareness is the key. Like, how aware are the parents, first of all, of who they are, and what's their spectrum of emotions, what's their spectrum of thought, and how much awareness do children have about their own life. So to bring in all of the awareness, it would need the personal development coaching for the children, right? So firstly, I said, is turning just the information into knowledge and wisdom for them. That would be a reason. And secondly, it needs more than parents to participate into the life of the child to bring in that personal development. And thirdly, it's the awareness. The training of personal development would bring in the awareness for the child. Yeah. So
That's
reasons.
that's awesome. Um, I wanted to focus on anxiety for a second. What causes, and I think Nikita will be able to answer this, what causes anxiety in children?
Well, we all experience anxiety, right? But when we think about our children experiencing anxiety, we think about the fact that they're watching and they're witnessing a lot of emotional distress in the home. They're witnessing a lot of conflict, and not even in the home, in the school, with their peers, with their siblings. everywhere. In every circle they go in there, they're experiencing a stressful event. So stressful event, when we don't know how to manage it and manipulate it and process it, we're going to experience anxiety. So think of a child experiencing the stressful event and I don't know how to resolve that. And when you think about their parent, how are they resolving that issue? So what we forget sometimes is that, Joel, I agree with you. We should have a circle of support, right? We should have our circle of support. But when we think about our children in the home and we're thinking about anxiety, if my parents don't manage conflict well, I'm not going to manage conflict well. I learn everything. I learn everything from those two persons in my home.
So it's just resolving conflict, knowing how to deal with it.
Knowing how to deal with the emotions of it.
Yeah.
Because we think that it's just something that's stressful or they don't have anything to worry about. The children are resilient. We like to say that children are resilient. It's taught. We teach them to be resilient.
I gonna jump. I really wasn't supposed to. I gonna jump, but we need to take a break. So after the break, I'm gonna jump.
You're gonna jump.
Yeah, because there's something that is really pressing on me right now about a few friends that I have who are experiencing divorce. We're going to be talking about that and how that affects the children right after this break.
Of course. All right.
If they dragged you down and left you low.
She's dancing, Joel. Joel's dancing as well.
Joel, you dancing?
Yeah, he bouncing. He bouncing.
You can't bump. Do that. Joel, do that. Joel. Come to the Bahamas. Let me teach you.
Bahamas, get ready as Alpha Sounds Collect and Ron Mercado present.
Joel, I like what you said. I like your program.
Thank you.
You're actually helping your child, that child to reach their potential.
Yes.
I can't hear Joel. I see Joel talking, but I can't hear him.
So,
You can hear me? Hello?
sorry. 1 second, Joe. Sorry.
Sure.
We need to put on headphones?
You all brought it?
No.
I know.
All right. Joe?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Paparitos.
I can. I like that. Just like you're a child's life coach. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He is a children's coach. We're going to be asking him questions about that as well.
That's pretty awesome.
All right. I want to ask my Facebook people to do something for me. The last time I went to the gas station, this was last weekend. Last Thursday. That's the weekend. That's not the weekend. Last Thursday. And I heard this gentleman ask for $5 gas. Nikita, gas is $6.18.
Yeah,
now, right?
$6.18.
Okay, so $5. I pray his strength. I don't know. It could have been, could have been for his no, because it went in his car. Because I was thinking if he'd had a container, it could have been for his more.
Perspective, though.
Yeah, but hey, maybe he had a full tank and then he just wanted a little halfway and then he wanted to put the 5 in to make it look a little
Maybe
better.
that's all he had.
Maybe that's all he had. But guess what? For you ladies, I want to bless you with courtesy of Avon Freight and Cargo Services, of course, a $20 voucher, gas voucher. So what I would want you to do, if possible, if you're able to do this, I need you to, before I even say this, are we able to put a picture on the thing for Facebook? No way. We can only do that with the WhatsApp. I want them to take a picture. Let me tell you what I wanted to do, because maybe this may not be able to happen.
You need to post it in the comments?
Yes. Is that possible? Or is that only through WhatsApp?
I think they would have to send that to
WhatsApp?
the station. Like
WhatsApp thing. Good. You have the number yet?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So write down this number for me, my Facebook people. I'm probably going to do this for it's a couple of them. So I'm going to do one for the persons who are listening via radio as well. But for those who are on Facebook, the number is 431-1605. Put that in your phone. That's Star 106 FM's WhatsApp number. And I want you to take a picture of your gas gauge. It has to be less than half, though,
Okay.
in order for you to get that $20 gas voucher. So for those who are on there who are listening, if you're able to do that and send that over, WhatsApp it to us, you will get yourself a free $20 gas voucher. All right. See if we can get that sorted out. Go ahead. We're going to give you some time because we're actually going to allow the persons that are listening on the radio to do the same thing.
I went by the law. Oh, man. Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay. One second, when we have another call coming in. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. National. Okay. Trishon, I need the numbers.
Man, y'all ain't doing me justice, man. This
Okay.
is supposed to have already been done.
Alright, so
Suppose I didn't bring my phone with me. Sorry, guys. Bear with me as I bear with
Josh,
my people. You want me to look for it as well?
I should be able to pull them up once again.
Okay,
No,
you
not
want the
showing
card
me.
number? I have it.
You want the card number?
Yeah, Z as in Zoo, 218.
You know what? It's on your phone?
Yeah.
Just on your phone. They're all here?
Joe, we're here. Nikita, we're here.
Yes.
I'll put them into the next break.
I promise you the next show will not be like this for those who are watching via Facebook. We're just trying to get our stuff together. All right. So bear with me, please, on this first show. If I do it again next week, then I owe y'all a gas voucher. Deal?
All right.
But that's okay. They get to see the back end also. So it's
They get to see the
Yes.
back end. That's
yeah, come on.
Come on, radio. All right.
Come on, ladies. You gotta be what you gotta do, what you gotta
This is a song.
No, I can't dance, right? But I just
You're doing awesome job.
that's all I know how to do.
Yeah, they dragged you down and left you low, but they can't take your soul. Set it free, let it go.
She has me moving now.
All right. We are back. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna. Before we start talking about divorce and how it affects the children, I would like to read a live read for Calico Bay. This is very important. This is my girl, Danny. I have in her store. I went there, I think, on Friday, and my eyes popped. I mean, everything spring. Beautiful colors. You get the pinks, you get the yellows, you get the light blues. Oh my gosh. But let me read it. It says Calico Bay Children's Clothing and Accessories Boutique was founded with the whole child in mind. The team there believes if a child looks good, he or she will feel good. Step into Calico Bay and be transported to a whole new dimension of children's attire. They're located at number 84 Christie Avenue in Stapleton Gardens. Their boutique hours are from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and you can contact them, right? Get your pencil and your pen at 677-3409. But what I like to do is I like to visit their Facebook, and you can find them at Calico Bay, right on Facebook. And I mean all the pictures of the boutique and the attire and the little girls in the dresses and the little boys and the little everything.
She's
man,
excited.
I'm telling you, they are on point. They are sleek. They are dapper. They are sharp, and only because they shop at Calico Bay. So take a look at them because they're closed now, but you can go on their Facebook account, and they also have a website, www.calicobay. That's KALICO Bay.com. All right, so
Awesome.
Nikita, let's get to it.
Hi.
I have a few friends in this situation. One who has just recently divorced, and in her situation, she has two kids, and one I think is about 4, and the other one is about 2 years, I believe. Okay, the father has never physically abused them or anything like that. However, he has been verbally abusive to the ex-wife. Okay, and in the presence of the children. So what happens is, according to her, whenever he comes around to collect them, the daughter in particular holds on, like literally grabs on her mom's legs to, it's almost as if she's protecting her mom. All right. When she sees her father, she cries. No little 4-year-old is supposed to be crying when they see their father. Their father is supposed to be there to bring them joy and be the protector. A child, to me, a child is supposed to eat, sleep, play, and that's it. A child should not be stressful or should not be trying to protect their mother, especially at 4.
But that's not the reality anymore.
Clearly.
The,
Talk
re-
to me about
the
that.
reality is that we are now, the reality is that we have children as young as 18 months who are now experiencing a lot of adverse experiences. And I say adverse experiences loosely because it could be trauma, it could be divorce, it could be grief. They are beginning to experience all of these things. And what you're recognizing in a lot of children now, especially with abuse, is that they want to be the protector of their parent, the one who they consider to be in danger. The whole challenge is they're going to need counseling. The whole thing is to help them process the emotions that they're feeling. They're experiencing fear, they're experiencing anxiety, but they don't know that's fear. They don't know that's anxiety. You, as the parent, would recognize that my child is having extreme distress, but you, as the parent, can't deal with that distress. The only thing that I always tell my parents is that you provide that safety, you provide that security, you provide that comfort, and you always keep communication open. And there are things that you're not able to process with that child. So I would always say, please, please find a counselor. I work with babies. I work with 18-month straight up who have experienced adverse experiences. What do I do with an 18-month? I play. You have a thing as play therapy. And in playing, and even in your home and you play with your child, your play is going to give you a lot of information. Your art, your drawing, it's all going to give you a lot of information about what's going on in their mind. So it's key. It's key. Please, counseling.
So how can you tell when a child is in distress?
The attachment. You see how if you're on a cling onto my leg and you see me coming, I'm not going to let you go. Obviously, something is going on there. That's heightened fear. When you see me avoiding you, when you see me acting withdrawn, when you see me being isolated, when you see me acting out of character, my behavior is now extreme. That is telling you something is going on with my kid. It's a language, definitely a language. And we don't ever think that, what do they have to worry about? They worry about everything that we worry about.
That's
Every
what concerns
single
me.
thing that we go through, they are going through.
You said that kids need therapists. I think they also need coaches. Joel could speak on this.
Interchangeable?
He's a children's coach. And Joel, why do you think that kids need their coaches?
So, like I already told you, in terms of like it takes a village to raise a child, you know. So the idea is there are certain issues which parents could be blind to in their child. They cannot see that. They may think that they know the child in and out, but that's not wholly true. It's like a bottle can never read its own label. You need somebody else to read its label. It's like that, you know. And that's why we would need like someone who comes from the outside, looks into this situation, what's happening, and to really see what's happening and then help the situation out, you know. And also in terms of children, they're just flowing, they're just living out their life. They're not too cautioned, right? Like they're not too thinking, okay, is this going to go bad? But then yes, through various bad situations that happens, they can become that. But then overall, they just like to live out their life. But then that's where we have someone come from outside, a life coach, you know, somebody who helps them saying, okay, you know what, it's not just fantasy, it's not just a fantasy world. It's not like, okay, like you see in the movies or you see in the TV, somebody falls down, oh, it's like the birds flying around their head. No, it's a real fall. You really get hurt, you know. So, and how do we go about bringing this idea to them? Is in a very creative way. Like, since I'm also a musician, so I also incorporate in terms of my coaching, bringing in a lot of music, and also taking up songs that children like. Like uh, since I also run this company where we train and send music teachers, personal development teachers to various schools here in Bangalore. One thing I see, like students who could be of grade 1, grade 2 students, like think of 6, 7, 8 year olds, okay, and they would be singing lyrics of songs which is absolutely not fit for their age, does not fit their age, and they would be just singing it, and parents are okay. Parents don't know anything about it. I mean, they just think it's okay. I mean, that really does disturb me, like, because the kind of things that we put into us is also going to be coming out of us, right? And so I would really think it needs somebody who sees and knows and has gone through various situations and has understood children, the things that they go through, so an outer voice, a voice that can speak into the life of the child. Yeah.
Okay. What are some tips to ensure that the environment that we provide for our kids are conducive to them? I don't know if Nikita would answer that. But before you answer that, before you answer that, you were saying that there are obvious reasons to determine when the child is in distress.
Yeah.
There might be some reasons that there may be some ways that maybe teachers may not be able to tell, because then of course the parents aren't there throughout the day for them to cling on to. How can a teacher tell if a child is under distress, or is it if a child is experiencing anxiety, depression, whatever?
Behavior. Behavior is a language. And what you have to pay attention to is, I'm going to still avoid you no matter what environment I am. I'm still going to seem isolated no matter what environment I am. If I'm in a constant state of sadness, the guidance counselors, they're definitely going to recognize that. If I don't want to interact with the students or do any of my work, they're going to recognize that. So they have that ability to detect because they constantly interact with these children. So they're going to sense that something is going on. And you have your guidance counselors who would go a little further to say what's going on and dig. And then sometimes it's beyond guidance counselors. Sometimes the school psychologist would have to come in. Sometimes just counseling would have to come in. It all depends. It all depends, but it stays the same. They're going to avoid, they're going to be withdrawn, constant state of sadness, behavior, out of character. Out of character. It's definitely a language. We take that for granted all the time.
What happens to that? This our culture. This would be, I don't know if we do it now, but I know back then we used to do this. We used to have the eldest child. Thank you. We used to have the eldest child take the responsibility or most of the responsibility because the parents are always working or something to that extent, where the eldest have to be the one to ensure that the kids are well taken care of and that they eat and all that stuff. I'm not certain
It
if
still
that
goes on.
It still does.
And what is that? That's wrong. That's abuse as well.
I know it's abuse.
That's something that should not go on, but it's very
tell?
common.
Can you tell if that happens? Because I mean, the child ain't gonna go outside. How could we prevent that? Because you have to speak to the parents clearly, but what do we do in situations like that?
That is the most difficult thing to say that you want to prevent, because the reality is that parents have to work. They have to provide for their children, and their reality is sometimes, mostly, it's single family homes. Someone isn't always going to be there. That oldest child, that's my support now. So I utilize that child a lot.
That's
now. So now my oldest child is going to go to school, and I'm tired, so I'm not going to do the work. And then the teacher's going to be concerned, why aren't you performing? I'm tired, I'm stressed. Stressful events. So all of these things are stressful events for children and can actually build anxiety again. Anxiety is something that they would experience just from these small minor things that we take for granted. And I know as a parent, it's never intentional to hurt your child. We never intentionally want to hurt our children. No. But circumstances, decisions that we make, the life that we live, it hurts our children. It impacts them. And we forget that they're not just there to be pretty and be seen. They have to understand and they have to feel safe.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's the thing.
So back to my question now: how can we as parents create an environment that is conducive for them, as far as ensuring that they're not in the stress, they don't have stress, and they're really, like I said, to play, eat, sleep, and be merry. That's what I think. No?
Eat, sleep, and be merry, yes, and then they're still gonna have responsibility.
Yeah.
The
As they grow up.
no, you start teaching resiliency. So the whole thing is you teach them resiliency now. So you're gonna model it. You're gonna model self-awareness. You're gonna model decision making. You're gonna model emotional regulation, and you're gonna help them to understand it's okay for me to feel sad. It's okay for me to be angry. It's okay to be happy. We have this thing in our culture. You have nothing to be mad about. You don't have no worries. But if you have a worry and you're my mom,
Oh, you
I'm
coming for me.
worried.
You're coming for me then. Sorry. This is what I tell
No,
my
but
son.
no,
Oh,
reality is
Look, I said,
I
you don't
worry.
have a
They
thing to worry
worry.
about. That's what I tell them. I said, all you gotta do is clean up your room and do your schoolwork. That's it.
No,
I take care of
ma'am.
me. Hubby, take care of everything else. What they gotta do?
No,
What you
ma'am.
what
If you
responsibility
are
they have to
experiencing
pick up?
stress in your home, ladies and gentlemen, if you experience stress in your home, your children are experiencing the stress along with you. Yes, they don't work. Yes, they don't pay the bills. But if mommy's unhappy, I'm sad. If daddy's unhappy, I'm sad. If they're worried about food not coming on, having money to buy the food, I'm worried. Everything that you worry about, they experience it. They experience it. So we communicate. We talk to our children. We don't tell them everything. We talk to them so that they can have an understanding. Life has challenges, but we're going to get past this. And that's all it is.
Okay.
And Trishon, in our culture, we like to talk to our children. We don't talk with our children. And it's like, oh, I'm not giving in to a child. I'm not giving in to a child. It's not that you're giving in to a child. It's you're helping your child understand that life is full of challenges, but you
Right.
can get past these challenges.
Right. Lucretia Johnson said, wow, that's serious. We never think of how kids may be worried about. Yeah. There are things that they're worrying about. When we
Yes.
worry, they worry.
Yes.
Wow. Great point. Gina says, great point. They are like little sponges. That's right. Speaking of that, that's why I don't talk about people, but that's one of the reasons why I don't talk about people in front of them. I don't criticize people in front of them. There was a time though, confession time. There was a point in my life when I used to have road rages. Okay. Let me tell you how and when I stopped. All right. So here it is that my youngest daughter, she is 4, and she has this little card game. And I was recording her as she was doing the little card game. And then she goes, "Bom, bom, get out the road. What's wrong with you?" Where you get this from?
Play tells us everything.
Okay, all right. Where you get this from? I was Trishon. She's like, "Mommy," and then no, actually, the 2 oldest said "Mommy," and then the baby says "Nana." So I said, "Okay, it's you now. It ain't really me." And that's the thing about it, because if I get it from Nana, then they get it from me. So I had to stop that. To stop that, because yes, they are sponges. They take from us.
Yes.
Everything that we do. I don't want to ever know that my children are bullying other kids at school. I don't want to ever know or experience the fact that someone has to call me and say they're teasing somebody else or for something, for being overweight or for being. I've experienced that, for being tiny. Let me share my little story before our next break. So I'm already tiny, right? I'm still tiny. How about I was tinier than this? I was a 00. Does that exist, Joel? You
Yes.
think that exists? Yes, it does. 00.
Yes.
All right. And if for those in the 90s, there was the show Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon used to have this popsicle stick. And the name of the popsicle stick was Stick Stickly.
They did not call you that.
Okay. All up in school. Yeah, Stick Stickly. Stick Stickly was my name. All right. And it was terrible. I was humiliated on numerous occasions, but it's not like we were poor. We had food. I used to eat all the time. It's just, I guess, my genes. That when I eat, of course, I wasn't gaining in my metabolism. I wasn't gaining any weight.
Mhm.
But you have children in schools who tease other kids because of their weight. Either they're too skinny or too fat. What happens in situations like that, Joel? I remember you saying earlier that you were teased in school.
Yeah.
How does that
Like,
make a child feel, and how could we deal with that as parents?
yeah. So the thing is, like when I was in my school, this is my. We were living in Mumbai. Okay, that's like the famous city in India. So in Mumbai, the common thing is that everybody's fair, everybody's white in color, except for me. Okay, so I'd be the only black child in the class, and I would be teased around for that, and it would take a lot of my self-esteem from me, and it brought me to a place where I wouldn't be able to look at people in the eye. I wouldn't be able to hold a conversation looking into the eyes of anybody, you know and one of the ways that it really the way God helped me out of that is uh, affirmations, Bible affirmations, what God said about who I am. I am not what I think I am. I am not what other people say I am. I am not what I do. I am what God says I am. So these affirmations help me out, and also music helped me out, to and I also learned the power of distraction, like how distraction, like if this is something that is really troubling me, how do I learn to ignore? Like, not every battle needs to be fought.
Right.
There are some battles which needs to be ignored, and that's exactly helped me out. Just by ignoring, it's a very simple step. By ignoring, I'm also stepping into faith and saying, okay, God, you're able to handle this for me. So Bible affirmations did really help me out. And also my teachers in school, uh, not the school in Mumbai. At that time, my dad was in Gujarat, another state, doing a church plant. And so, me with my grandma, so that was in Mumbai. And then finally, we got to settle, come here to Bangalore. That's when a teacher, okay, this was my English teacher. She really spoke certain things, like, example, simple poems would make a lot of meaning to me. I'm like, whoa. Sometimes the things that we can't describe really speaks to us. So songs, poems, all of this really helped me out to think things bigger than who I was. I'm not just what I look. I'm bigger than this.
That's wonderful. Just before we take our break, I would like to acknowledge John's Shoes and Accessories. Hey, John Simon. John Shoes and Accessories specializes in all types of footwear for the entire family at affordable prices. They also provide a wide selection of bags, purses, clutches, watches, fashion jewelry, belts, socks, and stockings. John's Shoes and Accessories has 2 locations to serve you: Rosetta Street, Palmdale, and the John's Plaza on Carmichael Road. Check that beautiful outfit you have in the closet to see if you need an accessory or a hairpiece or something to go along with what will be taking place next week, Sunday, Mother's Day. And if you don't, head on down to John's this week for it. We'll catch you at the next break. In fact, we have some some guests waiting to talk more about a show that would be what am I saying with show? Service that will be taking place this weekend. Why saying service? I get nervous. Cut on the.
But Joelle,
That's
you
bringing it on
realize
back.
that you and Trishon, you all both spoke about anxiety, basically from your experiences that y'all had.
Yeah.
That's anxiety, and that's like emotional distress in children
on.
again, because that was a
Cut
lot
it
to
on.
go through, and bullying is real. Can you hear me, Joelle? I'm so tall.
Yes, I can hear you. I was just saying hi to Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, how are you?
Since you're on the screen.
You heard me saying show and service. I don't know what's going on with me.
So
It's
it,
my first show. I don't know how you do it. But God bless you, sir. Thank you for coming. And I think Heidi is here as well, representing Miss Jillian. She left. Okay. All right. So we have now, Minister Kevin. I do apologize for
That's quite fine.
the long story.
No
We
worries.
started late, so and I
No
kind of
worries.
off. Yeah. Thank you. Blessings. So before we go back on, Darius, how much time do I have? Because I'm off with time. How much time? A minute
minute?
until the end of the show? No, how much time do I have in the show? Well, we didn't start on time, so I think it's supposed to be for an hour. So good, that's perfect. So we're gonna wrap up with you guys,
Okay.
and then we're gonna start with Minister Kevin. That's good. Right
That's
after
fine.
this
That's
show.
fine.
Thanks.
But you've experienced. Oh, you and Joel and me.
Oh, we can talk now. It's okay because we're on a break now. So we still have persons on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on in 30 seconds. But I can't really talk much about that because I want to move on. I have my guest here. He's been waiting a while.
Okay.
I
that's
want to
fine.
make sure that he is covered.
Okay.
But the experience, the anxiety that I had, to be honest with you, was just, I don't know, like there were moments I did not want to go to school. Okay.
Yeah.
At all.
Mhm.
And that this is it was ridiculous. This was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
And that's emotional distress.
Emotional distress.
And then trying to understand and process all of that. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, of course. I withdrew myself because I didn't have no friends, no way. And this was at what? Disassociate from. I'm not the person that's what?
Disassociation?
No, you mean disassociation? Listen,
Did you disassociate yourself
'cause you
from
could come
other
and talk
person?
about it too.
And that's
So-
just a coping. That's just a coping
Mechanism.
mechanism.
Yeah.
So each
You know-
person have their own. It's so interesting though. Each person have their own. I heard Joel's on. I just heard yours. We all have our own coping mechanism.
Mhm.
I think the coping turns into the personality, right? Like the way we cope. Like to me, the way I coped is to make fun of everybody. Like if somebody, what's coming against me, if I can't handle it, I'm gonna make fun of you, bro. That's or the
Oh,
other
you have
one
a
can
smart
be.
mouth.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Good.
and I've seen my friends, they would shut off. That's the way they cope. Just shut off. You know. And there are people who are intellectuals, and that's a coping mechanism too, I would think.
Mhm.
Because they can't handle it, and so they go study it and get deeply understand something, so now they can show themselves like I am something, you know.
Mhm.
Somehow I would think children are more like sponges, mirrors, and magnets, you know. They suck in information, they reflect,
Mhm.
they're also drawn to.
And they appear to manage it better than we do, but reality is when they become adults, are you still managing it very well?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think after the show, I would like to get in touch with Nikita to speak more. I really like what you're saying.
Okay.
That's lovely. That's what we are for connection. You go ahead, network. Because I got connected with you from somebody else.
Yes.
Joel, I was Joel's coach, and I was at history. So definitely, I can't wait to tell y'all how I met Minister Kevin. I know y'all might call me a stalker after this. I don't care. But listen to me. I got my deliverance, so that's all that matters. I'm gonna tell you all about it. Let me know when we go on. We're on? Not yet. Okay.
Be waiting for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna. We are wrapping up now with our wonderful people, our guests who we had, Miss Nikita Woodside and Mr. Joel Dave. Mr. Joel Dave, what time is it over there now? But 4 something now, wait. 4 something in the morning. What time is it, Joel?
It's 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. Listen, thank your wife for me, because I don't know how you get to fix your mouth to say you talking to 2 women on the phone at 4 on the internet at 4 something in the morning, and you can't tell her this Jake from State Farm because she's not gonna believe you. Okay, just thought you should know that. So just to wrap up, I just want to thank you guys. If there's anything that you want to say to parents, to women in particular, because this is, who this is for, what can you tell a mother? How can you help her? As far as knowing what, like you said, what to look out for, because she may not even see it. The child may be experiencing distress because of school. And if that child was anything like me, I never told my mom what I was going through in high school, because I ain't into her going to the school, telling the teacher, and then they calling in the people who teasing me, and then it gets worse, because that's what happens when you go to school and you tell on the person, and then it's terrible.
Yeah,
So
that's hard.
what advice can you give to parents?
So what I always say is that trust yourself, and you're doing a wonderful job. You're not a perfect human being. You're just a human being. Trust everything that you feel. And with regards to your children, talk as often as you can. Don't talk at your children. Talk with them. Talk to them. You're going to find out about the different feelings that they're feeling. You're going to find out about the different things that they enjoy doing. And getting to know your child, you're going to help them to develop to who they're supposed to be. And then also, please, 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 please remember, you're not perfect and they're not perfect. Just take it one day at a time. Okay, just take it one day at a time, and you are doing an awesome job. Trust yourself.
That's incredible. Joel, what advice can you give to parents?
So I would think one is giving them an active year. Like we are so quick to give advice in terms of do this. Like parents want to lecture to the child, do this, do that, but rather spend time with them an active year. So that's something I would really think, because it's not what you got to say. It's about the children feeling that, hey, I am heard, because that's when they really speak.
I agree. Thank you so much, Nikita. Thank you so much, Joel. And before I get on the call with Minister Kevin, I want to thank Celestial Treats. For those who are planning a party and you don't want the headache of running around town to look for the supplies, let Celestial Treats do the work for you. I used them on numerous occasions, and I found them to be very professional, and the prices are very reasonable. You get the regular and the gourmet popcorn, cotton candy, snow cones, hot dogs, pizza, nachos, party bags and boxes, party supplies, party rentals, and so much more. They're located Claridge and Raymond Roads, and you can call them at 605-9899 or 395-9899. You could visit their Facebook page as well with everything I just listed. You're going to see all of the parties that she did, or most of the parties that she did. She would take pictures of it, and you'll see all of her creative works and all the popcorn things. And she actually has a bus that you just, all the kids just come to the bus, get what they need to get, eat at the table, and that's it. No headache for the moms, okay? Their Facebook page is Celestial Treats. So give them a visit. If you can do that after the show, I'd really appreciate that. Who do we have now? Our minister who's been so patient. He's been so patient. Minister Kevin Ellie Ewing. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm pretty good, and it's great to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How's the weather in Freeport?
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. Just before I get him to speak, let me just give you a brief intro of how I met Minister Kevin. He was on a talk show couple, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I believe it was. And I was trying to before that, I had a dream about this dark being. I couldn't see the face that kept on going behind the walls, like coming from the walls, just trying to look at me and keep on looking at me. I'm trying to figure out what this is. And I told a friend of mine, and she said, that's called monitoring spirit. You need to look it up, monitoring spirit. I've never heard about it before. So I went online and I looked up monitoring spirits. And when I did that, I came across a website that he has. And on that website, it lists so many different dream interpretations and what the symbols and the meanings of these words, these figures and beings and things that I've been seeing throughout my entire life. But it's about, oh my gosh. And I was like, I gotta find this person. I thought he was an African. I tell you no lie, because I haven't come across a Bahamian with all of the, I don't want to, I don't want to. I have never come across. Please don't take offense to this. I have never come across a behemoth with so much information when it comes to the spiritual realm. Okay, when it comes to dream interpretations, etc. I haven't. So maybe I'm not as exposed. All right. And so when I came across him, I was like, I gotta find him. So I went and I did some more research on Facebook, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's a behemoth. He's from Facebook. Oh my
She was
goodness.
excited.
Oh my goodness. So there was a show, I think it was on a Saturday, and he started talking. He was being interviewed by someone, and he was talking about just exactly what I'm saying about dream interpretations, talking about witchcraft, etc. And then he missed and said his number. He missed and said his number on the radio. I turned on the side of the road and that phone. I said, I'm about to get my breakthrough today. All right. And to be honest with you, I was still intimidated. You know, I was afraid to call him because I was like, what can I possibly say? I don't want this man to think I'm a stalker. But I have to find out how I could get more information, what I need to do. Long story short, he's been more than welcoming, and I am grateful for it. I follow him on Facebook, Kevin Ellie Ewing Ministries, and then of course he's going to tell you more information on what other platforms he has. And Jillian isn't here. Jillian Curry Williams. She's not on with us right now because she's at a present engagement. However, she has a conference that's taking place this weekend. May 6th and 7th, and the name of it is called Renew, Rebuild, Restore. And this is a 2-day deliverance conference in which Minister Kevin Ewing is actually going to partake in. And he's going, listen to me, when I tell you the walking Bible, I don't know if anybody ever called him that, but everything that he says, you know, normally when you hear pastors, you hear, oh shoot, I don't want to offend nobody today, but normally when I hear pastors, so I don't get in trouble. I mean, nobody else gets in trouble. The show doesn't get in trouble, and Star doesn't get in trouble. When Trishon hears pastors, Trishon normally hears the opinion of pastors, normally. And then having to hear from Minister Kevin Ewing, when he speaks, it's always the word. And then not only does he say the word, but he gives the reference to it. He ain't nothing like me, who I can say Tingham. I say Tingham because I don't ever know where the reference is. I can tell you what the words say, but I can tell you 2 Peter chapter 3, but it ain't But he does that. And so that's what drew me, because it's the word that draws us. So it was that. And like I said, so Minister Jillian isn't here, but I can tell you I know her passion for women is just astronomical. I mean, her desire to help women, similar to ours, to help women grow and to help them be empowered, you know, and to gain more knowledge, because it is knowledge that causes us to be delivered, right? And so this is one of the reasons why she called on Minister Kevin, so that she can actually get other women, and guess what? Women from Africa, from America, from all over the world will be coming international. That's how hungry they are. Okay, coming to this conference. All right. So we have Minister Ewing on with us. Hello, sir. Once again, what can we expect on Friday and Saturday?
Something very beautiful. What we can expect. Well, first of all, it's a women's only conference. I don't know if
Joel.
Right? Because I've had several men reach out to me, ask me how they can hook up with them, and I told them, hey, I'm told that it was a men's only conference. But the idea of this conference, Renew, Rebuild, Restore, is to actually look to the root causes of issues in the lives of women. And of course, just like my teaching's all about, we're going to deal with it from a spiritual perspective. We're going to dig deep at the root of it. Everything else, we're just dealing with the surface of it. Hence, we repeat the problems all over again, and we find ourselves in the same position. I am of the view that we coexist with spirits. As a result of that, these opposing forces are influencing us on a daily basis. The enemy's job is to make us focus on the person, place, or thing, and completely dismissing the forces behind it. My job is to take you behind the curtain and show you what's pulling the strings to your life and making a complete puppy show out of most of us.
Come on.
Whoa.
That listen, if you don't want to go get your ticket, that's your problem. Because I didn't have mine. I'm part of the committee. I bought my ticket before I even knew that I was going to be a part of the committee. Okay, that's how hot this was, and I don't even know if there are any more tickets left. I'm hoping that there are still tickets left, because honey, you don't want to miss this. If you have, as Bahamians, if you have Americans and Africans and stuff purchasing their tickets, buying tickets, airplane tickets to come here, and you sitting down and you slunging, and you keep on complaining about your life, but you ain't doing nothing about it, and there's a whole conference that's going on to help you see how it is that you going through the same cycle over and over again and don't know how, and you want to learn how to get out of it. I recommend you go to this conference. All right, Minister Ewing. Most of my questions is really for Jillian. I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
But what should women not expect? Because you said what they should, but what should they not expect?
Well, what they should not expect is basically what we see in our society as it relates to religion. And that is, you could come to a church or whatever, pay God some funds or monies, and somehow some miracle is supposed to take place. But that is not how it works. Again, what's opposing us is invisible. Hence, we need the acquired knowledge to deal with what's fighting us. Scripture says to us in Hosea 4:6 that we perish or fail because we lack knowledge, not finances. It is the knowledge that we lack that causes these invisible beings to have the upper hand over us. So my job is to take you where that knowledge is located, and that is the manual of life, which is the Holy Bible. It is the actual manual for you to succeed on this earth, to know the principles, the laws, the rules, the precepts, the commands. Once you have that nailed down, you are a formidable force to whether it's spiritual or physical being. So I would hope nobody's coming there to think Kevin is going to say, pop up, until life is going to change. No, there's not going to, it's not going to happen. No poofing. It's not going to happen because you didn't get here overnight. You got here through a series of repetitive failures that you eventually mastered and didn't even know. Again, my job is to show you from the scriptures, the rules, the principles, what God had in place before the foundation of the world, for you to undo yourself from this knot that you found yourself in.
I have a co-worker that's watching now on Facebook, and in fact, the things that I've been telling her was because of what I've learned from you. And she used to talk about her dreams a lot, talking about her father and how her father used to tell her what to do in her dreams. Can you speak a little briefly about talking to people in their dreams?
Now, first of all, is her father living or deceased?
Dead. I'm sorry, he is passed.
Well, right. Well, that's not a good dream at all because, first of all, the Bible is extremely clear as it relates to our living, us, the living people, relationship with dead people, and there ought to be none. The Bible says that once a person is deceased, Ecclesiastes 9 verses 4-6, their love, their hope, their envy, everything comes to an abrupt end, and they have no more participation on this side of life. In Deuteronomy chapter 18 verses 9-11, it says we must not be engaging in what is known as necromancy or communication with the dead. We go over there to Luke chapter 16 verses 19-31 to give us the story about the rich man and Lazarus. Spoke about them initially in their living state, and then when both of them died, they were carried off into the spiritual world. None of them ever came back to communicate with anybody on this earth. So it now begs to ask, okay, so if my loved ones are deceased, then who are these people masquerading or pretending to be my loved one? Well, they're evil spirits. They're evil spirits masquerading as such. Well, one would say, well, where do you get all this stuff from? That's not in the Bible. Well, you don't read your Bible because it's very much in the Bible. The Bible says to us in the book of Corinthians how the enemy, the devil, is able to masquerade as an angel of light. So does his ministers or his servants to change their forms. In fact, when we go to scriptures such as Joel chapter 2, verse 25, where God says, I will restore unto you the years that the cankerworm, caterpillar, locust, palmer worm has eaten away. I've never seen no insects eating away at my stuff. But no, these are all depictions of demonic beings and the way that they come at you spiritually. Go back to Genesis chapter 3. How did Satan appear? As a serpent. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So when you look at the symbols that's representing a greater spiritual implication, you now get some kind of footing of what you're dealing with. So again, my job is to pull us away from the repetitive cycle of failure that we participated, basically volunteered to be in there, to show you what the rules say. And one of those rules, as it relates to, because you know the conference is to restore, renew, and rebuild.
Rebuild, restore.
Right. Now,
Yes.
when we go to Proverbs chapter 11, verse 31, and I love this, and it says that the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth. So the ladies that are coming to this conference, they must first know if you're a righteous person, you are entitled for recompense of the losses that you have suffered. So the promise is already there. My job is to show you how to engage this promise. And one of the beautiful things about that word recompense, when you look at it in the Hebrew, it also means a covenant of peace. So what it's saying to you that even though you're in the storm of life right now, the promise that God has that is going to be given to you in terms of the restoration of your life will start with the peace of God in your life, meaning that even though everything isn't where it's supposed to be, but for some way, somehow you have a peace about life that things are going to get better. And it is my job to take you to where it's going to get better.
All right. Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, it's Dr. Julian Curry Williams and the Tribe presents Renew, Rebuild, Restore 2-day deliverance conference, which will be this Friday, May 6th, and it starts at 8:30 at 6:30. I need glasses. And doors open at 5 p.m. And then Saturday, May 7th, at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and doors open at 8 a.m. And it's going to be located at the Balmoral Club, which is Sanford Drive, Nassau, Bahamas. And for both days, the tickets are $75, which I think is a steal of a deal because what it does, it comes with COVID testing, okay, and I think a light lunch, light breakfast on a Saturday morning. And for get your pen and your paper or your pencil and write down this number for me if you want to obtain tickets, if there are any left. 818-9764 is the number that you call. That's 818-9764 to obtain your tickets. Minister Ewing, do we still have those 2 tickets available to give away?
Oh, yeah, man. We get 2 tickets to give away.
So how do we do that? What can we possibly do to get these clients or these listeners to win a ticket?
Well, I was hoping you'd assist me with that. I just got the
Oh,
tickets.
gee.
You,
Okay.
you just do the
So
giving away.
let's go. I did post today. I said, someone who been praying, oh Lord, please give me a little breakthrough. As that little $75 could go towards grocery, okay? But I want to get delivered and set free, and I won't go to this conference. Somebody was praying that, and they about their prayer is about to get answered today. Now I don't know how I am going to do this. I can say this: Minister Ewing has a favorite scripture.
Right.
A favorite scripture that he says every single time he has a mic in front of him. If someone can type that out for me on the live, and say where it's taken from. If you can't remember where it's taken from, that's fine, but at least say what it is. All right. If you could post that now, you get yourself a ticket. And I'm gonna give you couple minutes, and then let's also, for those who want to call in, if you want to call in and say, what's the number here to call in? 328-8163. You can call in 328-8164 or 328-8165. So I'm opening this to persons who are listening on the radio as well as persons who are on Facebook. There's a favorite scripture that he says every single time he opens his mouth. And if you can quote it, the ticket is yours.
And while you're waiting on that, let me just give you this quick story. While you're waiting on that, the 2 tickets that we're giving away, there was a lady from Oklahoma. Her name is Sonia Trotter. She actually donated these 2 tickets. She was to one of my conference in Texas. She was so overwhelmed by the teaching that even though she couldn't make it here, she wanted to donate 2 tickets for someone to be there to cash in on some of the stuff.
Oh, I wonder if she know that's a setup for her. That's a setup. Bless her. I want you to say, don't just type it out, man. Type the thing out. Go on Google and see what it says. Copy, paste it, and put it there. Hosea 4 and 6, we perish because of lack of knowledge. That is absolutely correct. So that's Tammy Bo LaCroix. You have won yourself a ticket because I can't give you two, not today. I want to give somebody else who's been brilliant another ticket. So, my other question is this: if you can recite to me the theme of this weekend's um, conference. Thank you, because you know I couldn't remember that word. The theme, I was going to say service again. The theme of this weekend's service, if you can call in and say it, or you could type it in, that other ticket is yours. I'm so sorry, Bianca, you're a little late. Carla Cummings says, "Oh my gosh, how did I not get that?" For real, because she follows Minister U. I always say in his name. All right, so tell me what the theme is. Yes, Bianca, that is it. People perish for lack of knowledge. Tell me what the theme for this weekend's conference is, and you have the next ticket. That ticket is yours. Anyone remember? Let me give you a hint for those who are on Facebook. You can go on my page. I have the flyer right there. You can go on Jillian Curry Williams' page if you are a friend of hers. What she said? How did I not get that? I got that one. You can go on my page or Jillian Curry Williams' page. You can go on Heidi Monroe's page, and you will find it there. Minister Ewing, I think, I'm not sure if it is on your page as well, right? It's
Right,
going to
it
take a
is.
while to get it. Yes, you can go on his page as well. I'm going to wrap up. Okay.
Well, I just posted last night, so it should be at the.
Oh, okay. So you can go on Minister. So while we wait, Minister Ewing, how can those who've probably been hearing? Yes. Thank you so much, Lucretia Johnson. Renew, rebuild, restore. So you win yourself a ticket. Please call into the station so I can tell you how you can obtain it. But before we wrap up, Minister Kevin, can you tell those who are hearing you for the first time? You're listening to him. What are your thoughts? Go ahead. Don't act shy.
Well, I think it's so interesting because we are walking this cycle, and I don't think us women realize that we are constantly reliving the same thing over and over. And when you said that by renewing and restoring and whatever the last one is, you help us to understand why we're constantly walking that. So that I was very intrigued when you said that. I was very intrigued. Of course, the psych in me was like, okay, so I also, she asked me on the spot now, so I apologize for being
That's
nervous.
fine.
But I tie in the psych component, but then I love the spiritual component.
Right.
Because sometimes it's not all just a cognitive warfare, it's a
Right.
spiritual warfare. And that cycle has to be broken, and it has to be broken spiritually. So it's going to be an interesting conference.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So how, Ms. Ewing, how can people contact you? Because I know from now on, Nikita is going to find you. She's not going to stalk you the way that I did, but she's going to look for your information. Can you share your platforms and how we can get more learning?
Yeah. Before I share the platform, let me just put this insert here quickly. One of the things I'm going to be covering in the conference is generational curses. This is a very important and vital topic to cover, because what it's basically saying is that most people are already pre-programmed, even before they're birthed into the world, to literally follow a pattern of negativity, such as their generations before them, programmed for failure. And a lot of them trying to figure out why is the same repetitive problem always rearing its head in our family, but they never connect the spiritual implications to it. That, hey, look here, even though I don't want to be this way, but for some reason, I just feel so conformed to live my life the way that my Grammy did and she failed, my mother did and she failed, or my grandmother had children out of wedlock, my mother did, now here I am. Why is this happening when I did all my life to fight against it? Well, there are forces involved. And then we're going to speak heavily on that to see if you don't break the spiritual bondage that you are tied to, you will not only die that way, but you will now pass the baton onto the future generation. So with that said, for those who want to locate me, definitely on YouTube. I have over 204,000 followers on YouTube. I have various Facebook pages, 4 of them actually. Minister Kevin L. Ewing Facebook page, my personal page. Once you type in Minister Ewing or Kevin L. Ewing, you'll find me there. I have a blog spot where I have over 620 articles dealing with witchcraft, dreams. The bottom line is I speak about what other people or other preachers run away from. Okay, I go deep into it. And the reason why I was a victim of it, and as a result of it, well, I wouldn't say as a result of it, but God has already given me the knowledge of it. And I guess I had to go through it and live it out or walk it out, like we would say. I also have a app on the Android as well as the Apple platform. Minister Kevin Ellie Ewing. It is an awesome app because it's filled with so much information, prayers, dream interpretation, you name it. I have a section in there for many books that I've recommended for people to read. I'm an avid reader. It's very empowering. I always encourage people to read. And I also have my Twitter page. Every day on Facebook, on my personal page, I'm posting an article or some quote. And also on my community page on YouTube, I'm also always getting stuff for there. For those who want to contact me, once you hit YouTube, under every video in the comment section, I have pinned all of the information to contact me, email and whatever else. I know many people waiting to hear a phone number, but that's not going to happen.
No.
Email me, email me, and then we will go from there.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. You excited, Nikita?
I am.
Nikita, I'm sorry that you didn't win a ticket today, but the tickets are $70.
Yes.
And you can go ahead, and I decided the number, so you can go ahead and get your tickets.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Is this my final wrap up? Right. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Minister Kevin. Thank you, Nikita. And for those who have tuned in and supported me. This is my very first show. So please, thank you and everything. Thank you for tuning in and for being patient with me and all of that mushy stuff. And just know that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm excited about next week. Next week is Mother's Day. We're actually going to have a few parents single mothers that will be coming in and talking about their experiences. I have a guest that has 5 boys and she's doing it all on her own. Okay. I have another guest who actually, she went on social media to ask for help because sometimes she has to keep her child at home so that she can work. All right. So these are the struggles that we'll be talking about, the struggles that single women go through. And not only that, we're going to have a representative from the Royal Bahamas Police Force that is going to help encourage the women and allow them to see, whenever, once again, like how we were talking about distress, we're going to be talking about ways that you can tell when your child is in a gang. All right. Wow. Yes, this is going to be hot. She's going to help us, educate us, and keep us going. So I'm excited. And I'm sure, I promise you, next week is going to be way better because each time I do a show, we're going to evolve. I promise you. God bless you. Enjoy your evening. God bless.
God bless. Joel.
Yay.
All right, so we end
my
the radio
email
show. One second. We end the radio show, but I want to say thank you once again to my sponsors, which I completely forgot to do. And my sponsors are my sponsors for Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna are Airborne Freight and Cargo Services, Celestial Treats, Listerine distributed by Lowe's Wholesale, John's Shoe Store, Calico Bay, where the cool kids shop, and National Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Thank you so much for believing in me, my wonderful clients. I look forward to serving you next week, God's willing, and the weeks thereafter. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
That was amazing.
For sure.
You did amazing. I mean, you sounded like a radio talk show guy.
Glory. Only God. But yeah, next
And
week.
you're